Hey guys, Dave from Timber Time Outdoors. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. As you can see, it's winter here. We are going to talk about the Ranger and how it is the most useful tool that I own today. Stay with us, guys. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. In this video, we're going to do a few things here. We're going to talk about the Ranger and how I use it year-round. So winter, summer, fall, spring. It is the Swiss Army knife. You know, I hate that saying, but it really is. I mean, it is super useful. So we're going to kind of walk us through as I plow my driveway here. We had a tsunami storm, about 5 inches of snow, and it was one of those wet, and then it got super cold and drifty type of snow, so it's really difficult to remove. And so let's go through those things, and we'll kind of walk you through it as we plow. So enjoy the plowing video and a little chit chat about the Ranger and how awesome it is. So just real quick, this is a 2024 Ranger XP1000 NorthStar edition. It's got the full cab. It is actually a discontinued model. It has some manual windows, and it does not have a flip-out windshield. I think all of them now have power windows and flip-out windshield. So I did save some money when I bought this one. I think it was called maybe it was the premium versus the ultimate. But you can see I got a plow on here. Just does a fantastic job. Stock wheels. All I did was really tint the windows as far as accessories go, and then this here is my Fuyu topper. I'll show you this real quick. I can overlay a lot more videos here on ice fishing, but we're going to touch on how awesome of an ice fishing machine this is. So you can see I got some gear in here, but just a super topper. Having that bed is invaluable. It tilts. I don't use the dump very much, but mainly just, sorry about the sun. Never good filming in the sun. Great little topper. Take it off in the summertime, and then I put a rack on. We actually mounted our Starlink on this machine, so we had internet. I can link that video as well. We had internet on the machine. The sky's the limit with this thing. It's just the greatest. All right, so let's get into it. We'll talk about it seasonally here. All right, let's get buckled up, get this thing started. Oops, I always do that. I always want up to be park and actually down is park. Got to be in park to get it started. So let's start off talking about springtime, because I actually don't use it very much in the spring. For me, I don't have a whole lot of use. I use my tractor a lot more in the springtime. So guys, I know that, you know, there's tons of like projects you can do with this. If you've got a lot of property, obviously getting cleaned up in the springtime, this thing would be invaluable. Hauling tools around, you know, there's plenty of video on that. So spring, I don't personally use it, but I know that, you know, there's a lot of uses in the springtime. Quickly, just talk about fall. The obvious one that comes to mind is hunting. The accessories you can get for this thing are just endless when it comes to hunting accessories. It might be the ultimate hunting vehicle. I have kind of an easy situation when it comes to hunting. My brother owns some hunting property, and he's already got a Ranger and an electric bad boy buggy down there, so I actually don't bring this to hunting. I do plan to, in the future, do a trip out west with it, so I'm collecting my elk points. Hopefully we'll be able to pull an elk tag soon, and we can bring you that video. But you know, so spring cleanup, fall hunting, and let's talk about where I use it the most here, and you know, we'll get into plowing and ice fishing next. All right, I wish I had the joystick. I think I've already mentioned that. If I haven't, it's going to be after this. But all right, let's do a little plowing here. We're in the wood yard, and I like to just kind of plow the main part of it. Oh, let's put it in gear. Forward. So you can see here, I basically just plow out the middle part, and I me a lot of time. You know, my snowblower can only throw it so far, and so being able to plow out the middle part makes things really easy. All right, let's see here so I don't crash into trees. Can't see behind me with the topper on. All right, but nothing just stops this thing. I mean, it just, I got it low gear. I can basically go as fast as I want. After you do this for a while too, the remote isn't so terrible. And of course, if you're not filming, it's a lot easier. Yeah, it's just a great tool when it comes to plowing out the woodyard. Makes life easy. We actually got quite a bit of ice here. Yeah, watch out for those trees behind me. It'd be bad to crash while I'm making a video. It's supposed to be good entertainment, right, guys? Yeah, so that's plowing the woodyard. Get into the cul-de-sac here next. I'm going to adjust the plow here. Super simple. You got a little lever right here that you just lift up. I don't know if I can do it one-handed here, and then lift up and turn. If you want to go the other way. There we go. There we go. So now hopefully you can see. Yeah, it's pretty hard for you to see, but I got it angled just a little, and I think I'll go to that last notch there so I can really push to one side. There we go. Now she's tilted pretty far. All right, let's get back in and plow. All right, I got a really crabby mailman, and he likes to cut the corner when he gets to put my mail in, and he runs over my sprinkler and breaks my sprinkler every year. So I gotta put that stupid cone there. Anyway, I want to be as nice as I can to this guy, because delivering mail sucks and is a hard job. So let's get all the snow out of the way for this guy. Here we go. Let's see, we gotta turn this on. The remote here. Wish I had the joystick. That makes things a lot easier. You can tilt it from side to side, up and down, all from the joystick, but I just use the remote. So here we go. Put her down. And I'm in some rough, plowed up stuff right now. And the Ranger just says, yeah, whatever. What do you got for me? Doesn't matter. It just doesn't, nothing phases it. Honestly, it is an incredible, incredible plow vehicle. All right, so lift up the plow, reverse. This is actually kind of hard to do. Turn this fan down. So many things to think about while I'm filming. Right now I have my, sorry about the sun, guys. You can never get that right. I have all my ice fishing stuff on, so I have like the little topper on, and so I can't use my main review mirror, but I've got my side mirrors. And plowing without side mirrors is virtually impossible. So make sure you do that. And I like to plow in low, so that I don't, have trouble with that clutch at all. A little steering issue there. Sometimes you gotta slow down if you're turning and plowing at the same time. You have a tendency to hydroplane just a hair, and you get into some really difficult snow. And right now I'm basically moving what the plow pushed on us yesterday. And this was one of those snows that started out really wet, and now it's like 13 degrees, so you can imagine what we got. Oh, and then there were some drifts too, so it's like the worst case scenario, even though it's not, I don't know, I think they said there was about 5 inches or so. There's not a lot of snow, but it's that really difficult stuff. It's just, really hard on a snowblower. It's really hard on my tractor. The Ranger does a really good job, except for when you're turning and plowing, you have a tendency to hydroplane, especially if that blade is turned a little bit. All right, let's go here. It's doing pretty easier for you, but I'm not so talented that way. All right, so out. Whoa. Sometimes if you hit the pile with a little speed, it has a tendency to fly a little bit better. Oops, we gotta go up. And then reverse. But yeah, I'll tell you, man, this Ranger, of all the crap that I've bought in my life, this thing is seriously the most useful. The most fun, the most useful vehicle. And so if you're thinking about buying one of these, whether it's, a different brand, but a side-by-side with a cab, boy, I tell you, I'm so glad I bought this thing. It is hard to talk and drive at the same time. It is really fun doing a job like this, which is kind of monotonous and I don't know, could take up your whole day. The Ranger just makes it easy. All right, just got done plowing the cul-de-sac and the kind of the main driveway. Now I'm gonna plow with the woodyard here. I don't have a lot of areas to pile snow back here, so I don't plow the entire thing, but it makes things so much faster to be able to just plow like the main areas. So that's what we're gonna do here. So let's do that. So plow down. I can get this turned on again. I don't know why it turned off on me. All right, here we go. So as you can see, I kind of do the edges with the snow blower. I'll probably make a big pile like right there, that way. But yeah, this machine is incredibly versatile. So obviously winter time, snow plowing, I would say it's second to none when it comes to small machines. It's much better than my tractor. And it is the ultimate ice fishing machine. I've done a few videos on that. Kind of overlay some video here, but I mean, the only drawback to this thing so far in terms of ice fishing has been the weight of it. So it's about 2,000 pounds. So I gotta wait just a little longer than an ATV. So ATVs, you can probably go out there in 6 inches. This one I like to have about 8. And sometimes, depending on the weather, that can just be a short period of time. It could be maybe a few days. If you're growing an inch of ice a day, it's a couple days difference. Sometimes, your temperatures are hovering around the freezing point and it can drag on and take a while. So this year, actually, it took a lot longer to be able to get this thing on the ice, which was kind of unfortunate. The only drawback, otherwise, it's like having a boat. You got everything at your fingertips. We got the topper from Fuyu, which is a great product. I can link that video here. So wintertime, phenomenal. It's great for plowing. It's great for ice fishing. If you have a big property, there's all kinds of things you can do with it. I have a small property, so those are the only 2 things that I do. But let's talk about how we use it in the summer next. All right, so in the summertime, I don't know if you follow the channel or not, it's your first time here. We love this thing for trail riding. So we brought it out to Wyoming and to the Bighorns. It just did fantastic as a trail riding machine. We have the full cab, so when you're out west, that sun can be kind of punishing. And I've got the tinted windows, you've got the air conditioning, so it really did make trail riding fun. Suspension wise, this thing did really well. Obviously you have to slow down a little bit on some of the whoops and big bumps and stuff like that, but honestly, man, this thing, it kept my wife comfortable, which guys, you got to keep the ladies happy if you want them to come with, and I like to have mine with me. So from a trail riding machine perspective, just fantastic. All right, guys, that's gonna do it here. Got the wood yard all, as you can see behind me, got her all plowed. and the driveway's plowed. So thanks for watching, guys. Year-round use. As you can see, the Ranger is by far the best tool I have in the toolbox. So get yourself a side-by-side. I prefer Polaris, but I know there's other brands. So thanks, guys. Like, subscribe, send to your friends, and remember, everybody, keep it in the timber. Bye-bye.